Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, 18-hour special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. On our Insights segment tonight, we bring you a conversation with NovoPay, and on Bright Sparks, we're featuring Spicebox and Chacha Cha. Now, we've been doing a series of interviews here on the Leaders of Tomorrow on the impact of demonetization on the economy and particularly on MSMEs. Tonight, we're bringing you a conversation with Shrikant Nadamuni of NovoPay that I did earlier, breaking down the impact of demonetization, talking about the impact of mobile wallets and also how MSMEs can use the cashless economy more effectively. Listen in. Shrikant, thank you very much for speaking with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. Let's start by talking about NovoPay and, maybe you can explain the business model to our viewers.
NovoPay is a mobile payments and banking company. Basically, the idea was that, there are a large number of people who are either unbanked or underbanked in the country. And we figured out with the help of the mobile network, the huge chain of retail stores that exist in the country, as well as using Aadhaar, we were able to deliver mobile payments and banking services to people. So NovoPay basically does that.
We've been doing a series of special interviews around demonetization, Shrikant, and I'd really like to get your views on how, in your opinion, companies like yourself, companies like NovoPay, your peers can really work with entrepreneurs and MSMEs as far as demonetization is concerned.
Basically, instead of having bank branches which are expensive, bank officers, and the infrastructure of computers and networking and so on, just use a mobile phone by this MSME segment, by the retail segment, to deliver banking and payments using Aadhaar to authenticate people. This is how we look at empowering that segment. So that is the first part we started. Now what we're looking at is, can we lend to them, right? This is a segment that has not been serviced well by the banks because the banks don't know how to credit rate them. They might not have income tax returns, might not have large bank balances and bank statements and so on. So how do you credit rate them? So since our Android app is sitting with these retail outlets and our server is tracking the transactions that are going on, we're able to credit rate them, and hence we're able to service them with respect to lending. So that is another way in which you can help MSMEs.
Growing tech usage or the demand really for newer solutions as far as mobile wallets is concerned, why did you really decide to bet? What was the reason for you to then bet on the mobile wallet space? And also talk to us about how really the market is changing. How was the market in terms of size a few years ago? And also what is your outlook as far as the entire mobile wallet space is concerned?
See, like I said earlier, 97% of retail transactions in the country are cash-based currently. The reasons are a lot of people don't have bank accounts. Almost like half the country doesn't have bank accounts. Very few bank branches, 60,000 to 70,000 in that range. Very few POS machines and ATMs as well. So it doesn't serve a population of 1.2, 1.3 billion people. So when you look at that problem, there is a huge opportunity to be able to move payments, to be able to do banking services, to be able to sell financial services across a very low-cost network is a huge opportunity.
You're someone who's been very closely associated with innovation, Shrikant. So maybe you can talk to our viewers about how they should integrate technology with innovation and also how they should continue innovating, because oftentimes we see that innovation takes a backseat where ROI is concerned.
You don't need a big problem like demonetization for us to move from a cash-based economy to a digital economy. MSMEs should be at the cutting edge, whether they are using smartphones or WhatsApp or mobile devices. My input would be, try and innovate in your own small ways, okay? If you are a small business in a small town or a village, you have the same level playing field in some sense today because of the kinds of technologies that are available to us, right? Smartphones are becoming extremely low cost. Use that technology to improve your businesses. And when you see that those things are working, try and scale. So it's the basic, simple idea of create businesses that have unit economics that work out of simple little ideas that are market tested.
Quick last word then. In your opinion, what's the long-term impact for the mobile commerce platform with the cashless economy really coming into place?
Well, right now, the e-commerce players are seeing 60 to 70% COD. This is before the demonetization debacle. But certainly, the monetization issue got a lot of people out of the fence. Earlier, a lot of people were on the fence wondering, hey, should I just continue to do this in cash? Cash is very easy to deal with. We have done that for decades and centuries. Should I just continue in cash? Or should I learn this new technology and change myself for all these benefits that are supposedly will accrue? And it looks like a large number of people will be jumping into a smartphone. So that's the way I think it's going. So in that sense, I think e-commerce transactions will increase with the use of mobile apps. And if payments become smoother because of people adopting digital payments, it's just going to increase the number of transactions, and smoother payments means that the cost of delivery and the cost of running these businesses come down and they get more efficient. So in general, I see a brighter future for the e-commerce companies, especially with a more digital world.
One of the programs, if I can call it that, on the part of the government has been financial inclusion. What in your mind then is a long-term effective solution towards financial inclusion? Some of the larger companies are looking about and looking to and talking about really converting themselves into banks. You have the government which is pushing the Jan Dhan Yojana, but how can it be done effectively? What's your opinion?
So very progressive policies from the regulator and a good thrust towards financial inclusion from the government of India. Now, what remains is implementation and execution. So I see this sector, it has been rather slow with respect to getting everybody bank accounts and getting everybody access to financial services is still quite slow. And I see that the private sector can play a huge role. Even small, like companies like NovoPay, as banking correspondents of the bank, can have a huge impact. But things need to be opened up further. We need to be able to ensure that anybody who walks up to any one of these counters, whether it is bank branches or BC outlets like retail outlets that NovoPay runs, should be able to open a bank account.
Time for a break. When we come back, we'll feature Spice Box and Chacha Cha. You're back with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, and on Bright Sparks tonight, we are featuring two companies, Spice Box and Chacha Cha. Variety is definitely the spice of life for this Mumbai-based e-commerce entrepreneur who has launched one successful food delivery startup after another in the city. Paulumi Mukhopadhyay caught up with Gurmeet Kochar to find out his recipe for success and what make his ideas out of the box.
Over 200 recipes, more than 1 million deliveries, and 2 successful ventures in less than 5 years. One man that connects these dots is Mumbai-based entrepreneur Gurmeet Kochar. Early in 2011, Gurmeet launched a subscription-based online tiffin service startup, Spice Box, that delivers lunch and dinner meals that remind Mumbaikars of Maa ke haath ka ghar ka khana. A company that became a pioneer in creating dark kitchens in the city, which exist without a restaurant attached to them, where customers can collect an item after ordering online, took a step to organize this unorganized sector.
So do you have any customized meals or corporate deals at Spice Box? I mean, how do you kill the monotony of people who are eating your product regularly? How do you actually create a product which is different from your competitors like Hola Chef, Fresh Menu, Inner Chef?
Yes, we do customize our menus and meal requirements for corporates who order from us. And how do we kill monotony? Actually, that's what our USP is. We do not repeat a single dish throughout the month. So we have a repository of over 200 recipes with which we make a lot of permutations and combinations and come up with a special menu for the month. We believe in home style food, minimal oil, minimal masalas. It's comfort food, something which you can eat daily.
You have collaborated with the Dabbawala Association of Mumbai in the past, and currently you're associated with all these new startups when it comes to logistics like Roadrunner, Swiggy, Scootsie. Is delivery mechanism in your company a bit weak, or is this a cost-effective model for you?
We started off with the Dabbawala Association in 2011-2012 because they were the only players available. We realized that as we progressed, the Dabbawala Association had its own restrictions because they only deliver lunch. We wanted to get into the dinner space, the breakfast space. So the advent of companies like Roadrunner, etc., they did help. But we do not use Roadrunner, Shadowfax, etc. for our deliveries because ours are scheduled deliveries. Our deliveries are primarily taken care by our own delivery fleet. We also rely on the Dabbawala Association because there are some areas which they are very, very strong at.
According to reports, you have delivered almost 1 million meals since 2012.
Correct.
What makes your food tick with the consumers, considering food is a very tricky area and choices are very subjective?
Yes, you're right. Since 2012, we've served more than 1 million meals. What makes the food tick is making sure that we are very honest about our product. So we constantly keep innovating. So all the meals which have gone in the last 5 years, the 1 million meals, I practically tasted what all those meals taste like.
Post the success of Spicebox, Gurmeet wanted to shift gear and launch an on-demand, lip-smacking paratha delivery startup, Oi Kidda. Within just a year of its operations, Oi Kidda successfully launched its first retail store in 2017.
Why open two separate ventures for food when there is an option of opening more branches for the same?
Spicebox is a meal subscription company. You cannot order on demand basis. So you either have to subscribe for a weekly meal or a monthly meal. So we thought that, we are missing out on the on demand segment where, like clients nowadays need meals in 30-40 minutes. So that's the reason why we thought of Oi Kidda. Being hardcore Punjabis, we have a huge repository of parathas. So we thought that this is going to be a, a good match, and hence the second venture.
In an e-commerce venture like yours, how crucial is research on the menu, location of the kitchens, and manpower training?
So your menu in a food business is your backbone. So if in case you don't get that right, it's very difficult for a food business to sustain. Location in an on-demand business is extremely crucial because you do delivery within the 4-kilometer radius. Finally, your training for your manpower, I think it's extremely crucial because that's the only way you can have excellent taste, quality control, and standardization of your food.
What are the expansion plans for the next 5 years? Are you looking at creating new products or maybe opening more retail outlets in the future?
We have annual plans divided into quarters. So the next quarter, our plan is to make sure that we launch Spicebox Breakfast. We start another brand which is into salad subscriptions called SOS, Salads on Subscription. And finally, we would like to also expand with one more branch for Oi Kidda. Our 3-year plan would be definitely to be in different cities, starting off with Pune, taking it to Delhi and Bangalore.
With quality in its products and variety in its kitty, Gurmeet is all set to fast expand his company to Bengaluru and New Delhi as well.
Can't think of a creative concept or struggling to keep your eyes open in a board meeting? If your poison of choice is tea, then here is your savior, Chai Pe Chacha. Shubhangi Sinha caught up with the founder of this place, run almost entirely by disabled employees, to bring you tips on how novel HR policies can become your brand's USP and about how you can make a niche for yourself. Take a look.
If you were to ask a tea lover whether their glass is half full or half empty, even the most pessimistic one would call his glass of hot cutting chai half full. An optimism which is clearly visible at Chai Pe Chacha that mostly hires differently abled employees. Anil Kohli, taking a leaf from his own life, set up this tea chain in 2015 along with Anup Kataria.
Let me start this charcha by talking to you about what your inspiration was behind starting something so different and something so quirky as that of Chai Pe Charcha.
I've always been a chai fan, so started drinking tea at a very, very early age. And whenever I used to go with my friends from college or from my postgrad and all, so I used to find out there is no good place for chai. There's only coffee. The whole market is dominated by coffee chains and all. So I wanted to, once I started thinking of a business plan, so I thought there was a gap which I could fill in with Chai Pe Charcha. So that's how the idea of starting a cafe with chai came into my mind. And then inspiration about the name Chai Pe Charcha, whatever conversation is happening, whatever charcha is happening in India is happening over chai.
Like you were saying that there was a gap in the industry a little while ago,
Yeah.
but I think there are a lot of these companies who have cropped up who are probably working in the similar space as you are. So how are you able to then manage this kind of a competition where you might have similar things to offer?
Like in India, whatever the beverage drinking population is, 2/3 of the population is chai drinking population, which is a very huge number. So there is a huge scope and market for many players, and so it's not like so if you go to say there are around 4,500 to 5,000 coffee shops in India, compared to only 300 to 400 in chai. So the market is huge, and still whatever I've tried to create a niche for Chai Pe Charcha is by pricing it really well. We are very well priced, and we are the everyday chai wala of someone. So it's not I'm selling the space. I'm giving you an opportunity to just come out of your offices, out of your college, have a chai for 10-15 minutes, get relaxed, play Ludo, play Saap City, go back to your childhood, be refreshed and go back to your routine. So that's how we differentiate from the other coffee chains.
At Chai Pe Charcha, I understand that you have a very different HR policy towards hiring and retaining people who are differently abled. If you could talk to me about your personal journey and how you came across to this idea and what was the inspiration really?
I am differently able since birth, and I've been lucky to be brought up in a financially good family and get all the best in life. So when I started my own entrepreneur venture, when I thought about the idea and I thought about I'm going for a cafe like a tea room, so my idea was to create employment for differently able people. Not only create employment, give them the industry standard salaries, give them a reason to be proud of themselves. I got to know that they have accepted the fact, they have accepted that they are not normal or few things they can't do. So that's what hurt me, and I want to inculcate that fighting spirit in them and get them into mainstream.
Now I see that you have an extremely innovative menu. So how are you able to really make something so extraordinary out of a daily thing like chai? Tell me about how you really curate your menu.
I've traveled a lot in India. I visit different states and all, and I have that knack of trying chai wherever I go. So I've tried a lot of chai, and when I thought about this concept, I wanted that Mumbai being such a cosmopolitan city, people from all over India are coming here to work. So I wanted that I create something where any person from north, any person from south, east or west who is in Mumbai can enjoy the same tea in Mumbai. So that's how I have created the chai menu, and we have parathas which are very famous. So then we came up with Hajmola chai, which helps you to digest heavy parathas and all. So it's a digestive tea. When I was thinking about a snack option, I came across Italian menu, and Italian menu is very famous in India right now. Nachos and everything. Kids go crazy about nachos. So thought about creating a healthier option in that, and I replaced the fried nachos with a roasted khakra.
Now as we're winding down this charcha, let me ask you what your next 5 years are really looking like, and where else will I probably find Chai Pe Charcha?
We have 4 outlets in Mumbai, and we plan to grow to around 15 outlets by next financial year end. In the next 5 years, we plan to be 500 outlets all over India.
Being a stickler for innovative menus, Chai Pe Charcha's Hajmola Chai, Gulkand Ban Maska and nachos with an Indian twist made my tea break not only delightful but also made me fall in love with chai all over again.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of The Leaders of Tomorrow, and we've brought you tips tonight on demonetization and the cashless economy. If you want to get in touch with us or you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear from you. Do write in to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT. You can tweet at me personally at Sunanda_J or call us on that number you see flashing on your screen. We promise to have all your questions answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.